Hi, my name is Joe Baltich. I'm sitting right now south of the Canadian border, about 5 miles in northern Minnesota. I'm surrounded on three sides by the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. And I'm going to give quotes for wilderness, but I am here. I'm way out in the woods, basically. I'm here because I saw this woman, Heather Cox Richardson, Harvard PhD with a couple of master's degrees, a pedigree, a manicure, a mani-pedi, all that stuff. She has it all going. She's our researcher, and she teaches at Boston College. Well, anyway, Minnesota Senator Tina Smith, that's a U.S. United States Senator for Minnesota, Tina Smith, gave Heather a call and told Heather that Trump and the Republicans are going to be taking over the entire Boundary Waters. They're putting in mines, they're cutting down all the trees, they're going to kill Bambi, they're going to put in an airplane strip for aliens, they're going to put in an overground mine, an underground mine, a sideways mine. It's just, they're going to destroy it all, they're going to develop the Boundary Waters from east to west, north to south. And I'm here to tell you that Tina Smith is lying to you. Don't you get it? PL 95495 is the Boundary Waters Law. It's for the Boundary Waters Wilderness. Boundary Waters Canoe Area, and they added wilderness a few years after that to make it sound more special. Well, anyway, the Boundary Waters is protected by a border. You know, one of those things that keeps people from coming in and going out. Well, you can go out, but you can't come in. Well, it's got a border around it. If you cross that border and you don't have a permit, you go straight to jail, or you get a fine, or you get a serious talking to if you're lucky, and then maybe a fine. Either way, you shouldn't be doing that. You got to have a permit to go into Boundary Waters. It's really restrictive. Only people in good health are able to do the Boundary Waters. People who aren't in good health still do the Boundary Waters, and some of them pay the price. You know, they'll kick the bucket out there, or they need to get airlifted out. And that's why I use quotes around the word wilderness, because if you break your leg in a wilderness, nobody's coming to get you. But if you break your leg in the Boundary Waters, in 2 hours, there's going to be 40 guys there with a rescue squad, an airplane, everything under the sun. It's going to cost about $40,000 to get your butt out of there that the taxpayers of this region have to pay. And that's how that works. But that's a different story, and I digress. Meanwhile, back to the main focus here. Tina Smith is a liar. She's a senator, and she's obviously a liar, because anybody who's in Washington from Minnesota should know what they're talking about. Pete Stauber's trying to put in a law that says you can't be shutting down national forests all over the country for 20-year moratoriums like Obama did. We beat him back. And then Tina Smith and Amy Klobuchar tried to do that 1 month after we beat back Obama. Took us 2.5 years to beat back Obama. And then Amy and Tina all got together and said, let's do it again. And then we beat her back in about, it was a 24-hour beat back. And then Joe Biden came in and did the same thing, another 20-year moratorium against any exploration. Well, right now in Lake County, we've discovered helium. To get helium out of the ground, you just got to poke a hole in the ground. It comes out all by itself, and it's helium, lots of it. And there's a huge helium shortage right now on the planet in Qatar. Qatar got wiped out 3 days ago by the Iranian terrorists. Well, when they wiped it out, they took out 20% of the United States needed helium supply. And for those of you who don't know, helium is used for all your MRI machines, all of them, to keep them cool. If you don't have liquid helium in there, they burn up. And you can't, or you have to have a much larger unit, a lot bigger building to get it in. And so that's one. And then they use helium to make a fiber optic cable. Who knew? There's fiber optic cables. You got to know how to make those. You got to even make them with helium that keeps the oxygen bubbles out of the line so that the information travels through. Okay, there's that going on. Well, anyway, there's a million uses for helium. And guess what? You got to do exploratory drilling for helium. And Joe Biden had a moratorium on in the Superior National Forest. Pete Stauber, thank God, came along and said, you know what? There's a law from 1996 that says you can't do that for over 5,000 acres. And he's bringing that law to the forefront. And that's what they're doing. Meanwhile, Tina Smith is out there like an idiot, telling Heather Cox Richardson that they're going to destroy the boundary waters. This has nothing to do with destroying the boundary waters. It's not even in the boundary waters because guess what? Federal Law 95495 says thou shalt not drill in the boundary waters. It's a wilderness area. It's a park. It's everybody's blabbing. Nobody's blabbing the truth. The truth of the matter is the park is protected. It has been since 1978. It started in 1964 with the Wilderness Act by Hubert Humphrey. And so that's been going and going and going for the past 40 years. Extremely restrictive, hard to visit wilderness park in place so that people can go there primitively with a canoe and a paddle. And I get it. I'm not moving to change the boundary waters. Nobody else is. That's our playground. That's where we go. We try to go. We're all getting old. Less of us are going. But you got Heather Cox Richardson out there in the East Coast shooting her mouth off based off of what she heard from that moron Tina Smith. And I'm calling Tina Smith a moron. It might be disrespectful, but I don't have any respect for somebody who lies. You don't have to be out there telling. If you're trying to win, get your side to win. You don't have to be whipping up your troops with a lie. If they can't whip them up with the truth, well, then there's nothing to whip up about, is there? So anyway, this is my kind of fast and sloppy video that I put together just for this. I was going to do it in multiple takes and splice it all together, but it's too much dinking around. I want to get something out there, and here I am. Hopefully this will work. I'm going to send this out, and hopefully you'll see it, and put your comments below and see what you think. But just know that Tina Smith, she is no friend of Minnesotans. We got helium in the ground that we need to get out, and the way they're making the law, they're going to stop that from happening. And sucking helium out of the ground, what's that hurting? And then we got copper nickel too. That's another story. And 20 years of permitting already on that in Minnesota. It's a little sickening. Everywhere else they can pull this off in a much shorter amount of time, and they've got beautiful areas all over the world. The Boundary Waters is spectacular. Come see it. Bring your canoe. Bring your paddle, your paddling skills, and your wilderness rugged camping skills. You're going to need that too. So just keep that in mind. It's not Disneyland, and whatever you do, don't wear flip-flops. You can't cross portages in flip-flops. Oh, you can, but they're going to have to airlift you out of the park, which they claim to be a wilderness. Anyway, I digress. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.